There's a kind of person who's genuinely good at being around people. At the dinner, at the party, in the group chat that turned into a plan, you show up, you're warm, you're funny, you ask the questions that make people feel interesting. Nobody in that room would ever guess what happens when you leave. Because somewhere under the conversation, a quiet countdown is running. You're enjoying yourself. That part is real. But some other part of you is watching the clock the whole time, doing silent math on how much longer you can keep doing this. And then you get home. The door closes behind you. And your whole body exhales. That feeling isn't sadness. It isn't loneliness. It's the feeling of coming back up to the surface. People get this wrong about you constantly. They call it antisocial. They say you disappear, you're hard to pin down, you don't really like people. And sometimes late at night, you've wondered it about yourself. Why does everyone else seem to get energy from the exact things that empty me? Here's the thing almost nobody tells you. There is nothing wrong with your wiring. You're not broken, and you're not secretly cold. Some of the warmest, most attentive people alive are the ones who need to be alone the most. What's actually happening is simpler than a flaw, and much more interesting. Socializing costs you more than it costs other people. Not because you're weak, because of what you're doing while you do it. Work that most people around you have never had to do. Picture a stage, bright lights, a full audience, every seat facing you. For some people, being around others feels exactly like standing on that stage, not because anyone is attacking them, because the lights are on, and some part of them always knows it. On stage, you're never just talking. You're monitoring your tone, reading their faces, timing the joke, softening the opinion, checking whether that last thing landed. It's a second job running underneath every conversation, and you've been doing it so long you forgot it was work. Backstage is different. Backstage, the costume comes off. Your face goes back to being a face instead of a signal. Nobody needs anything from your expression. That's what being alone actually is for you. Not hiding from the world, just backstage. Your nervous system decides how hard to work in company, and it decides without asking you. When it reads a room as a stage, it runs the full performance system, posture, voice, vigilance, all of it, all at once. That system burns real energy. The tiredness afterward is not in your head, it's the bill. The psychiatrist Daniel Siegel built an entire field around this idea, that our nervous systems are shaped in interaction, moment to moment, by the people around us. Being with others is never neutral for a body. Every interaction either settles your system or asks something from it. For you, most interactions ask. And once you understand that one fact, the way this shows up in your everyday life starts making a lot more sense. Because it shows up everywhere, in patterns you've probably never connected to each other. The first thing it looks like is this. You do recovery math. Before you say yes to anything, some quiet part of you checks what's sitting on either side of it in the calendar. A dinner on Thursday means Friday night has to stay empty. 2 social days in a row is a red alert. A weekend trip needs a buffer day after it, and you'll protect that day like an appointment. You're not being difficult. You're budgeting because you're the only one who knows what things actually cost. The second thing, you're fine during, and then the wall hits after. In the room, you're genuinely there, present, engaged, sometimes even lit up. Nobody watching you would call you drained. Then you get home and the crash arrives. You sit down and can't get up. The TV goes on not because you're watching it, because it's the one thing in your life that asks nothing of you. Whatever got spent out there gets counted in here. Then there's the tell you don't admit to anyone. The one that feels a little shameful every time. The wave of relief when plans fall through. The text comes in. Something came up. Can we rain check? And before a single thought happens, your body answers first. Relief, instant and physical, like a test just got postponed. Here's the confusing part. You actually wanted to go. Both things are true at once. And the last sign is the most important one, because it holds the key to everything that comes later. Not all people cost the same. There are one or two people you can be quiet with. You can sit in the same room, say absolutely nothing, and come away more rested than you started. Notice that. Notice exactly who that is. Your nervous system is telling you who feels like backstage. If you're seeing yourself in this, stay with me, because where this comes from matters more than what it looks like. And if this kind of understanding is why you're here, the like button and subscribing genuinely help more people, like you find this. So why is your system built like this? Why does it read a perfectly friendly room as a stage at all? The answer almost always starts early and before you had any say in it. The first route, somewhere along the way, you learned that being around people means being evaluated, not welcomed, assessed. Maybe the mood at home shifted without warning, and you learned to read it before it reached you. Maybe love arrived through approval, so you got very good at earning it. Different houses, same lesson. When people can see you, manage what they see. That lesson doesn't expire on its own. Decades later, in rooms full of people who genuinely like you, the old system still walks in first and finds the stage lights. Not because the room is dangerous, because somewhere in you, being seen was never neutral. The second route is volume. You simply take in more of every interaction than most people do. More signal, more detail, more meaning. While the conversation happens, you're also catching the tone shift, the half-second pause, the thing they decided not to say. Most people hear the conversation. You also read it continuously in the background, whether you want to or not. That's double work. Same dinner, same 2 hours, but your system processed twice the data and ran an analysis nobody else was running. Of course you leave tired, anyone would, if they could see everything you were carrying. The third route runs deepest of all. Your body never learned that company can be restful. There's a thing nervous systems do called co-regulation. Two people settling each other just by being near. The way a calm parent slows a crying child without saying a word. It's supposed to be the main way human beings recharge, not alone, together. But if the people around you early on were never settling to be near, your system filed people under effort instead of rest. So now it only fully powers down when you're by yourself. Solitude became the one place with no stage in it. Hear what all of that adds up to? Because it matters. Nothing in you is broken. Your tiredness is honest accounting. A real bill for real work that the people around you never had to do. So here's what to do with all of that. Not to become someone else. You don't need to. The goal is to make the life you already have cost less to live. Start with the frame because the frame changes everything. Recovery is maintenance, not weakness. Stage actors don't apologize for the green room. Divers don't apologize for coming up slowly. The time you need alone after people isn't you failing at being social. It's the maintenance that makes the showing up possible. Schedule it like it matters, because it does. Next, audit the cost, not the crowd. Because the drain isn't coming from where you think it's coming from. After your next social stretch, ask yourself one question. What actually drained me, the people or the performance? Not every room costs the same. And when you look closely, it's usually not the room at all. It's how much of the mask the room required. Once you see that clearly, you get choices you didn't have before. More time where the mask can slip, less time where it can't. Same social life, same people you love, a much lower bill. Then, deliberately, collect backstage people. Not more friends, those specific ones. Use the silence test. Who can you be quiet with without the quiet needing to be managed? Those people are rare and they're the whole game, and because with them, being together and being at rest, stop being opposites. Give them more of your calendar than anyone else gets. And finally, leave without paying the guilt tax. It's the most expensive tax you pay, and it's optional. You know the spiral. You leave early, and then spend the whole ride home drafting apologies nobody asked for. Try the clean exit instead. Warm, goodbye, no explanation, done. People take their cue from you. Leave like it's normal, and it becomes normal. The guilt keeps telling you that you're letting people down. Look closer, and it's exactly backwards. Protecting your recovery is how you keep showing up as the person they actually came to see. So go back to the stage one last time. The lights were never the problem. The performance wasn't a lie. That warmth people see in you is really yours. The mistake was ever thinking you were supposed to live up there. Nobody lives on stage. The show was never meant to run all day. Needing to be alone doesn't mean you love people less. It might mean the opposite, that when you're with them, you show up all the way. And that much presence has a cost you've been paying quietly for years. So the next time someone calls you distant, remember what's actually true. You're not distant. You're expensive to run because you run so much. Understanding people like you is what still psychology is for. If this named something in you, subscribe. There's more of you to understand. Rest isn't the opposite of connection. It's what makes yours worth so much. Take your backstage without apology. This is still psychology.